We're back on the floor. This is it, guys. I have 4 stacks of books to go through, so get settled. Hello friends, I'm Rosa. Welcome to the channel. So, it's the first book haul of the year. I will say, I feel like I've managed to kind of contain myself this time. Like, I've not gone completely overboard, but also, I feel like it's also important to mention that more than half of these are Christmas presents and also birthday presents. So there's still quite a lot of books to go through. Like, should I quickly count them? I'm gonna count them. I think we have 31 books to go through today. 31 books. So let's get started. Yeah, this is probably gonna turn into another long book haul, but we're used to it by now, right? Okay, let's get started. I've split this up into categories as per usual, so if you would rather hear about another genre than YA fantasy, you can click on the chapters down here. But we're starting out with YA fantasy. So, the first books that I'm gonna talk about today, I'm gonna show you. I know that some of you will be super excited that I have my hands on these now, because I know that several of you have recommended them to me throughout the past couple of months, and that is both Strange the Dreamer and also Muse of Nightmares. My mom gave me these for Christmas, so thanks to Mama for this. Why is this so shiny and this is not shiny at all? I'm so confused. But anyway, I'll see how well I remember all the plots, but for these books specifically, I've decided not to know anything. All I know is that there's a blue person and someone is called Laszlo Strange, right? Laszlo Strange. And also that there's something to do with books. And these are supposed to be absolutely beautiful. I'm looking forward to reading them at some point, hopefully soonish. This was also one of the 12 books that was recommended to me, so I have to read them throughout 2022. I'm gonna be reading the second one as well if I like it, but honestly, as for the plot, don't really know much about it because I don't want to know. I just want to go into them without knowing anything, so that's the situation. But super excited nonetheless. Just really confused about why this is shiny and this isn't. It's fine though. Next up, we actually have a sequel of a book that I got for not Christmas, but Advent, as an Advent present, also from my mom. But I bought this myself, and it is Redemptor by Jordan F. Hueco. I probably should have said Strange the Dreamers by Laini Taylor. I'm so sorry. I forgot. I'm noob. It's fine. I believe the first one of these books is about our girl who has been given the opportunity to kind of work with, is he the prince? I think he's the prince, by becoming a ray bearer, which essentially means that you have constant connection, like you can communicate with the prince without actually like talking to him. And her mom is like, you gotta take this opportunity, but you gotta kill him. And that's all I remember. I've heard so many good things about these books though, so I really wanted the sequel before going into the first one. I'm trying to do that less, buying sequels without actually having read the first one. I'm trying to do that less now, but we still got a little bit of that going on today, so just be aware of it. But I'm super excited to read these at some point. These covers are absolutely gorgeous. Love the little shiny details. Love that there's a face right here as well. Like, it's just really pretty. And these are also, I think there's some romance in there. So we'll see about that though once I get to read them. But next up we have some fantasy / historical fiction. These probably should have been under historical fiction, but here we are. And they are These Violent Delights and also Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. Have not read these yet, but from what I have gathered, this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but it takes place in 1920s Shanghai, and we follow, as per Romeo and Juliet, 2 rivaling families, and I suppose a boy and a girl who are kind of caught in the middle of it, but are kind of interested in each other as well. I believe there's something about like a virus situation as well, so they're kind of forced together. We're forced to like work together at some point, but I could be wrong about that part. I might have picked it up from another book. I'm not really sure. I've heard so many insanely good things about these books though, so that's why I took the chance and just bought a box set of the 2 that came out in December, because I just, you know, when you get that feeling in your gut that you're just gonna love it, that's how I feel about these books. In Glittering Shanghai, a Monster Awakens. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm excited. No idea when I'm gonna read them though, but super excited for them because they sound amazing. And then one that I got very recently, which is The Ivory Key, and this is by Akshaya Raman. This takes place in, I think, an Indian-inspired world. We follow estranged siblings, so they no longer talk, but one of them wants to become queen, and to become queen she needs her hands on the ivory key, so she calls in her siblings to get help from them to collect this key. And on top of that, all these siblings also gain something from finding the key as well, so it's not like they just come in and are willing to help her out of the blue. But That's what this is about. Estranged siblings trying to help each other to find the ivory key. Super excited for this one. This is the Unported exclusive edition, which is why it's... I know that on camera it kind of looks black, but it's actually blue. It's just like a lighter... You see this color in here? It's like this color out here, but also in the back. The original one is off-white-ish. I prefer this one actually. Just gonna say it like it is. I don't know. I feel like it makes the orange and also the red stand out a lot more, so I like that they changed it to this color. But I've also heard many good things about this book, so I'm super excited to go into it. We still have a whole stack of YA fantasy, so a whole stack left before we move on to the next chapter. The next books that I want to talk about or show you are a sequel or two sequels. Is a third book in a trilogy also called a sequel? I'm confused now. Anyway, they are book 2 and 3 in the Mara Dyer trilogy. So it is the Evolution of Mara Dyer and the Retribution of Mara Dyer. Sorry, they have longer titles. I don't remember the order, but essentially in the first one at least, we follow Mara Dyer, who has, I believe she's been in an accident and something about her friends having passed, but she's like miraculously just completely okay. She doesn't remember exactly what happened, but with time she kind of learns that something has been off, like something's just not right about this whole situation. And on top of that, I believe there's also a romance in there. So these are definite, at least as far as I remember from the research that I've done on them, they are also contemporary but still fantasy. No idea why yet, but I guess we'll figure it out. I'm excited to read them nonetheless. I more or less see these as like YA fantasy classics. I don't know if that makes any sense. But you know those series that have been so popular that like everyone just knows about them, such as Hunger Games, Twilight, what else do we have? Shatter Me, even though I've not read those, but still, like those kinds of series. I feel like this is one of those, like people just know it. I got them and I'm gonna devour them at some point. And it's gonna be a good time, so yeah. Oh, and they're by Michelle Hodkin. Next up we have actually a companion novel, which is Fire by Christine Kashore. And I'm not really certain about the order. I just know that this is the second one that came out in the Graceling Realm companion novel series. As far as I know, they're companion novels. I might be wrong about that. No idea what this one is about though, but I'm guessing... Because the first one takes place in a world where people have different abilities, like they have different... Is it called Grace? I think it's called Grace. So our lead girl in the first one, her grace is that she can kill people. Don't know what that means, but I'll figure it out once I read the book. And maybe this one has access to fire or something? I'm not really sure. This was on sale one day, so I got it because I have Graceling. That's what happened there. It's fine. It was an impulse purchase. That happens. I'm owning up to it. But yeah, no idea what this one is about. Will not read the synopsis until I've read Graceling though, because I've learned from my mistakes in the past. We're not doing that again. Have you guys ever, without reading the first book in a trilogy, just gone straight to reading the synopsis on the sequel and it literally tells you the ending of the first book? I have. So I'm not reading the synopsis for that one, just in case. All I saw on the back when I looked at it was that it said, yet fire. So that's all. Anywho. Next up is another book that I actually got sort of on sale. Sort of, but it's A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. And this one is by Roseanne A. Brown. And I'm sorry, but the cover is stunning. Like, this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Love the color choices, love the spine. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. Not entirely sure what these, because there's both this one and a sequel. Not entirely sure what they're about, other than something about a guy's sister goes missing or is taken and he has to kill the princess, who I'm assuming is her, to get his sister back. But she's probably not agreeing with that, which honestly I don't fault her for that, so that's fine. But that's all I know, because this was also bought on sale and kind of an impulse purchase. I needed a water bottle from Amazon and I didn't want to pay for delivery, so that's what this was. However, I've heard many good things about it, so I'm still very, very excited to read it at some point. And again, the cover is just beautiful. Like, I don't know, it's just beautiful, so super excited. I only buy, like, even if I impulse purchase books, I only buy the ones that I'm actually really excited to read. But I am definitely guilty of impulse purchasing books sometimes. It's fine. Anywho, oh, this is one I also don't really know what it's about. Whoops. But it's Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Adeyemi? Wait, I just noticed there's silver in her hair. Or in their hair. Wait, that's really pretty. The cover is really pretty. I'm sorry, I just noticed that there's silver in the hair. Like silver foiling. Anywho, I don't know what this is about. On the back though, it says, they killed my mother, they took our magic, they tried to bury us. Now We Rise. So that sounds like badassery, and I have heard that like a lot of people like this, but I've also heard that it's not necessarily written in a way that vibes with a lot of people. Something about the characters kind of blending together a little bit, so I will go into this careful and with that in mind. However, have also heard good things about it, so yeah. It's always a shame when like you really vibe with the story is good, but you're not just like the writing doesn't do it for you. That's always a risk you take because you can't really tell before buying a book how the writing is gonna be. Next up we have a birthday present that I got from my dad, which is this Poison Heart by, is it Callan Bayron or Callan Bayron? I'm really bad with like English names sometimes, so I apologize, but is it Callan or Callan? Anywho, yes. This Poison Heart. I've been wanting this book since forever. In this book, we follow our lead girl who has an interesting power. She can basically grow plants from like just touching them. She can grow plants. I don't know about you, but I would kind of love that power. Are you Poison Ivy? I feel like she's Poison Ivy. But anyway, she inherits a house. Or is it a house or a mansion? I don't really know. She inherits a house. Let's just say a house. Anyway, this house has a lot of secrets and something to do with plants, and I don't want to know too much going into it. I just heard that this is really, really good. Plus, I feel like the whole plant superpower magic thing sounds so awesome. So I'm like, yeah. And also I know that the sequel is coming out this year, actually, kind of soonish, sometime during the summer. So I gotta read this before that. You know, I gotta. It's also not a very thick book, so it probably shouldn't take too long to read either, but I'm really excited for it because I've heard so many good things. And another book that I also got for my birthday was Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashardist. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. The inside, like not the synopsis itself, but just the few sentences that we do get before the synopsis is, there was and there was not, as all stories begin, a princess cursed to be poisonous to the touch. That's all I need to know. Yeah, we have a girl who's poison. My dad gave me both of these. I feel like there's a theme. Am I the only one seeing that? I don't know. Anyway, super excited for both of them though. So, Girl Serpent Thorn. Also, this cover, I'm not a big fan of like white books in general, or just like very bright books to be honest, but this does it for me. This is beautiful. So just wanna add that. Next up is another birthday present. This one is from my sister because I got Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. In this book we follow our lead girl up here who is a gumiho, which is, or gumiho, but she is the Korean version of a kitsune, so that's a nine-tailed fox. What they do is basically they live off of eating men's souls. Like they lure them in. They're very seductive and then they eat their souls. She does that, but she only takes evil men's souls. But then one day she comes across this guy who's in trouble, I think, and she ends up saving him. And in the process also reveals that she's a gumiho, and that's a whole thing. So that's what this is about, and I'm so excited for it because I love the whole like kitsune gumiho thing. I think they're cute. My favorite champion to use in League of Legends is Ari. She's a nine-tailed fox, so yeah. I love them. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. I've totally been lured in. Please don't take my soul. Let's move on to young adult sci-fi. I don't have a lot of it, but there's a couple to talk about. So the first one that I want, wow, that's shiny. You can't even see that. It's Crier's War by Nina Barella, and this is so confusing to me. It's something about droids or androids, robots, something about a daughter being made. There's something about two girls falling in love as well, but it sounds so complicated. I just feel like I will like this, which is why I got it, but I don't understand the synopsis. It's one of those Iron Widow situations, I feel, where you just kind of don't, like, as soon as there's robots or androids or anything like that in the synopses, I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just lost. But it says one mortal, one made, one loved, one betrayed. Oh, betrayal. Okay, but I'm very fascinated with this, which is why I got it, so I'll be looking forward to reading this at some point, but I don't know how to summarize it. Sorry. I feel like I've been sitting here for like an hour, so I just need to adjust myself a little bit. Sitting on the floor kind of hurts. I'm at that age now. Like, my back can't handle this. It's fine. Next up, these 4 presents from my mom for Christmas. And she gave me the whole Illuminate Files trilogy, which is very heavy to carry, so I'm just gonna carry the first one. I'm just gonna hold up the first one. It's fine. It looks like this. I don't fully know what these are about. I'm gonna straight up say that. It's another sci-fi situation. But the thing about these is that if you don't already know, I'm a little bit behind on these. They're kind of older-ish. But if you don't already know, these are written in such a gimmicky kind of way. So like you have classified documents and like it's like emails and stuff, and it's just very interesting. I'm trying desperately to show you without actually reading anything, but it's just kind of interesting like this, and I've heard so many good things about the story, so without really looking into the plot, all I know is there's a girl who just broke up with her boyfriend. That's it. That's all I know. And I believe she has pink hair. Not that that's important to the story. Or maybe it is and I just don't know. We'll see, but that's basically all I know. I'm guessing that there are secrets and the world is probably in danger. Let's be real. Something like that. But I knew the way that they were kind of written and it seemed very interesting to me, and I also knew that they're very popular books. I was like, I want all three, thank you. And I got them, which is awesome. Thank you, Mama. She also gave me, wait, this one I bought myself. Starside I bought myself, but she gave me Cytonic as well, and these are by Brandon Sanderson. And this is the second and the third book in the Skyward series that I believe is not a trilogy. I believe there's a fourth one coming out, so it's a quartet. But we follow our lead girl whose name is Spencer, whose dad used to be a pilot, and Spencer really wants to be a pilot too. However, because her dad was kind of disgraced, she's not allowed into the pilot program. But then one day, because there's like sky break kind of, where aliens are coming down and they're fighting each other and stuff, it gets worse. Or maybe that's when they start coming down from the sky, I'm not really sure, but basically she's just kind of thrown into it. She takes a chance, she sees this as her opportunity to kind of finally be a pilot, and that's all I know. But it sounds like a super good series, so you know. And today I also received Seven Mercies by, oh my gosh, I almost called them Elizabeth Lamb. That's Elizabeth Lim. But this is by Elizabeth May and Laura Lamb. Okay, I forgot what the first one is about, but this is a sequel, and I kind of panic purchased this a little bit. So I don't remember what the first one is about though. Seven Devils. I don't remember. I don't know why. I just took up this one. I opened my box and I was like, oh yeah, Seven Mercies. And then I just stood like, I don't remember Seven Devils at all. But it's gonna be a good time reading them both. So I'm looking forward to it. I just don't remember at all, which is really awkward. You've probably been in the same situation, right? Yeah. And now we're gonna go into adult fantasy and also sci-fi. So I have a couple of sci-fi books. I have like 5 fantasy and 2 sci-fi books, basically. The first one that we're talking about is Circe by Madeline Miller. This was given to me by my friend for Christmas. She had a whole situation with the delivery of it because she told me it fell out of the van and then was run over by a car, left out in the rain for several hours until someone found it and called her and was like, I think I have your package. Do you want me to open it and check the status of it because it looks kind of ruined? And basically it was. This is not the same book, as you can obviously tell. This is in perfect condition, but that was the whole situation. I'm glad it made its way to me eventually. I'm gonna straight up say that I'm not fully certain what this is about. I wanted this because I loved the Song of Achilles. I have to lower my expectations a little bit, I feel. But I'm assuming that this is gonna be a good time as well. I don't think it's gonna hit as hard as the Song of Achilles did. Like, I'm not expecting it to hit that hard, but I'm expecting to have a good time. So I also just quickly want to show you because the under the dust jacket situation is extremely gorgeous. Like, this is beautiful. And this is just a standard copy as well. This is just what they look like, apparently. At least if you buy the, is that the UK version? I'm not really sure. Yeah, the UK version. They look like this. So it's just really gorgeous. Anywho, Circe by Madeline Miller. So yeah, I'm very happy to have that one. Next up is a present that I got for Christmas as well from my sister, and it's The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. And as far as I know, this is about a guy who goes to an orphanage where they have, like, the kids there all have superpowers or abilities that are so extreme that they could basically cause the end of the world. That's what I know. It sounds super cute. I've heard so many good things about this as well, and this is also one of the 12 books that I have to read this year, and I'm just really excited to have it in my possession. And it's just, I like the cover as well. I really like these covers, this style that they've gone for, both for this one but also for Under the Whispering Door. The cover style, the art is just, I don't know, it's cartoony and I really like it. Not that you should buy books based on the art style on the cover, but like, hello. But yeah, orphanage with very powerful children in it, so. And also I believe a male-male or a man-man romance in there. I think. So we got some rep as well. And now for the last 3 adult fantasy books. I don't know how I can keep these up myself because they're a lot. If you watched my birthday vlog, because I got these for my birthday, you'll know. But basically, my brother went a little bit overboard with my birthday presents. So he got me Brandon Sanderson, The Way of Kings, which is the first book in the Stormlight Archive. But he also got me Words of Radiance, which is the second book. And he also got me Oathbringer, which is the third book. And when I tell you that these are heavy, they're heavy, okay? Like, there's a lot going on. It's a lot. So the thinnest one is the first one, and it's 1,000 pages. It just gets more after that. But this series is supposed to be a far time, like post 2000. It's supposed to be one of the best epic fantasy series out there, along with also Mistborn as well. I think this is kind of the step above that. So I'm definitely gonna go into Mistborn before I read these. But I'm so excited. This is very adult. There's a lot of politics. It's about like a lot of world building as well, and I'm gonna instead of trying to summarize anything before reading, I'm gonna read them and then summarize them to you at some point because I'm not gonna try. But I'm really excited and also very grateful that he actually bought me all 3, even though it's kind of crazy, but you know, I'm not complaining. And we got 5 books left. So we have 2 adult sci-fi books. I think this one is adult, at least. The first one being Red Rising by Pierce Brown. The thing about this that I find a little bit funny, because I think this is adult, but there's a lot of talk about Hunger Games on the cover. Like, it says, very ambitious, a natural for Hunger Games fans of all ages. A story of vengeance, warfare, and the quest for power, reminiscent of the Hunger Games in Game of Thrones. And on the front it also says Ender, Katniss, and now Darrow. So I'm like, is it adult but just young adult friendly? I don't really know. I've just heard many good things about this, and the Hunger Games comments are just kind of selling it to me because I loved Hunger Games. Like, yes. I'm excited to go into a badass sci-fi again at some point. Do I know much about this? No, I'm not gonna pretend that I do. On the next one, I also don't know much about the plot, but I'll tell you exactly why I'm like, I need to read that. Because, yes. It's Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin I have no idea, but Gideon the Ninth. And the reason that this was sold to me. This was also a present from my sister, birthday present. But the reason that this was absolutely sold to me is because I learned that this is basically lesbian necromancers, or it's like about lesbian necromancers. And I'm like, also something about a haunted house. At least something that's reminiscent of a haunted house. Or maybe it's like a haunted palace. Something like that. And I'm like, I don't have anything with necromancers. That sounds so unique. So also because, where is it? Oh, it's not even on here. But Gideon, our lead character here, what was it? Wait, on the back it says Gideon has a sword, some dirty magazines, and no more time for undead nonsense. And it just, like, the comments about it just makes it sound like a very good time. So I think it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. I've kind of been considering getting the sequel before reading this one, but I'm gonna hold off on it still. But yeah, I have a good feeling about this. Definitely adult though, as far as I have gathered, and also a little bit slow for the first like 20% of the book, but then it picks up and it just becomes some sort of ride, I've heard. So I'm looking forward to it. And then before the year was over, so before we entered 2022, I also ordered Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I don't have a lot of mystery. I, in general, don't really have a lot of contemporary in my library office on my shelves. So I figured this would be a good way to kind of get into that. It's young adult mystery, and as far as I remember, it's the problem when you have to go through so many plots. Some of them kind of get mixed together a little bit in your head. But as far as I remember, this is about a girl who goes to a school where in the past, wait, hold on. Now I'm actually gonna look it up. Oh yeah, the founder's daughter and also wife were kidnapped by someone with a pseudonym that's called Truly Devious. And I think this girl kind of takes it upon herself to sort of solve this mystery or something like that. I also believe there are 2 different timelines in here. Could be wrong about that, but I have heard so many good things about this. So I'm looking forward to reading it at some point. And again, it'll be one of my first mysteries as well. So I figured a YA mystery would be a good way to kind of ease into it, and especially one that's as popular as Truly Devious is. So next up we have a Illumicrate special edition, which is, oh my gosh, I keep calling it the last binding. That's what this That's what I think is a duology. The duology is called The Last Binding, but this is A Marvelous Light. It's by Freya Marsk. I think that's possibly how her last name is pronounced. And what I remember from the story is that we follow a guy who's kind of thrown into this world, like the secret world, the secret part of our world, where magic is a thing. So it's kind of almost a Harry Potter situation, but it's adult instead. And there's no school either. So the only Harry Potter aspect is basically that there's like this other part of our world where magic is a completely normal thing. But he's kind of supposed to be this like liaison between the regular world and the magical world, and he has to work with this dude because he also gets cursed, and the two dudes don't like each other, but there's definitely a man-man romance in there, so I put two and two together. But that's all I remember from the plot. This is a super cool copy, or edition I want to say. It's kind of like, first of all, this is what the pages look like. It's just black on the top and on the bottom, but it's kind of funky because it has this like transparent dust jacket and then looks like this without the dust jacket on. I'm still like, this is such a, like, I love it. It's so unique as a book. Like, it's so unique. I really like the vibe that they ended up going with. They made some decisions, some creative decisions while designing this book, and I like it. I like it a lot. So don't know when I'm gonna read this though. I also believe there are some historical fiction aspects to this, but it's definitely adult sci or adult fantasy, not sci-fi. Oh, that means I put it in the wrong category. Oops. Historical fiction aspects to it as well, and I'm assuming a little bit of a an enemies to lover situation, not necessarily full on enemies, but we don't like each other to lover situation. I'm looking forward to reading it nonetheless, and I believe the sequel is coming out this year as well. So Illumicrate, please do a special edition on that. Like, the next cover is super cute. I've already seen it. Please. I'm sitting on my legs now because honestly my feet hurt. So this is, if I look a little bit hunched over, that's why. It's fine. I have one book left. Just one. It's an adult contemporary romance, and it's The Bride Test by Helen Huang. So this is the second book in, I believe it's just called Kiss Quotient series, but I'm not really sure. The first one is The Kiss Quotient and the third one is The Heart Principle. In this one we follow Kai, who you might have heard about in The Kiss Quotient. He is autistic and he has a hard time with feelings, and his mom basically wants him to be in a relationship because, you know, mothers. So she goes to Vietnam to essentially find him a bride. In comes our girl here whose name is Esme. She is a mixed girl living in Ho Chi Minh City. Sorry for butchering that pronunciation, but I have no idea. And she gets this opportunity to get a husband and go to America, so she kind of can't turn it down, and I'm guessing that she goes home or flies back to America with Kai's mother. So the two of them will have to sort of figure this out together once she arrives. And I loved The Kiss Quotient, so I'm hoping that this is good. I want to read this before going into The Heart Principle, just so I read them in the right order, even though they're companion novels, but still, I just want to make sure that I read them in the right order anyway. Before we move on to Kwan's story, I think that's what his name was, Kwan. But yeah, love the first one, so I have sort of high hopes for this, but we'll see. I'm gonna try to lower my expectations a little bit, but still hoping for a good time nonetheless. So that was the last one of the books for this haul, but you can count on another one eventually. There'll be more hauls up on the channel at some point. Anywho, if you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought about them. Don't spoil anything though, but I'm assuming you guys don't need to be told that. I would really love to know though if you've read one of them and you've just really loved it. Like, I would love to know. But this is the end of the video, so I hope this didn't turn out to be an hour long. Nah, maybe 40 minutes. 50 minutes? I don't know. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed it anyway. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you want to hang out with me and nerd out about books in the comments with both me and everyone else, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button. But that is all I got for you today. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!